Hi, I'm Michael Santos, the founder of Prison Professors, and I just want to start off by saying today is a great day for you to start building a pathway to excellence. What excellence is going to be how you define it. You've got to start by defining success. And I assume that everybody who's watching these programs in prison, they want to get a higher level of liberty at the soonest possible time. Sometimes they don't really know the challenges that await them. And that's the purpose of today's journal. During today's journal entry, I'm going to be sharing with you a PowerPoint slide that's going to show you, hey, how could you build a visual representation showing why you are extraordinary and compelling. I want the people to see that you are not simply serving time and being an example of mediocrity, but rather you're doing something exceptional, and then you can get the result for doing something exceptional. So stick with me throughout the program because I'm going to profile an example of a failure, and I'm going to provide you with an example of excellence. Here's an example of a failure that you don't want. Right? You don't want to be filing a motion in court and have the judge say, here, the court finds that the defendant has not made any showing of an exceptional circumstance beyond mere compliance with the terms of his supervised release. Defendant already received a lenient sentence and has not shown good cause for early termination of his supervised release. Therefore, further reducing defendant's sentence will not be permitted. So you've got to be anticipating these are the challenges that await your future. And you may have an opportunity to go before court for a compassionate release hearing. You may have some other opportunity to be resentenced. What is going to be different in your life? Let's take a look at today's journal entry. And today is July the 28th, 2023. Let me read this because the sooner you start preparing for the success that you want, the better off you are going to be. Here's today's journal entry. If we succeed in our advocacy, you will have more opportunities to argue for a higher level of liberty. Will you be ready? What will be different in your life from the day your judge sentenced you? In what ways are you extraordinary and compelling? If you cannot answer those questions, I highly encourage you to work through our course, Preparing for Success After Prison. That course teaches strategies anyone in prison can use, regardless of external circumstances. In your view, the prison may offer little in the way of meaningful classes. Yet complaining about such realities will not move the needle if opportunities open for you to advocate for a transition to a work release program or resentencing before your judge. Start building your tribe. Our nonprofit has built a new platform, Prison Professors Talent. That platform gives participants an opportunity to show why they are extraordinary and compelling. We are now investing to build a new feature called Tribes. Each profile on the platform will include a visual representation to show the number of people a person has influenced. Since we cannot send images to people through the prison's email system, the workbook we're writing will show what I mean by building a tribe. Active participants should expect to receive a copy in August. As of today, July 28, 2023, our platform features 184 profiles. For advocacy purposes, we want a visual graph highlighting how many people are using time in prison to prepare for success upon release. We are striving to profile 10,000 people. To do so visually, we're investing to build a data graph. The data graph will have a nucleus bubble. Lines will extend from the nucleus bubble. If our technology succeeds, each participant in the program will have a data graph to show the influence he or she has had on helping more people prepare for success. That is a pathway to excellence. It worked for me. Since I invited each of the 184 people into our system, the profiles on the initial image will have a direct line to my bubble, but each person can build his own tribe. Let's use Frank as an example. Frank is working to share the program with others in the facility where he is serving time. He is also teaching people. Those people may mention that Frank introduced them to the program. They may cite him with teaching and mentoring them on preparing for success upon release. Frank's bubble will have lines that go to each person in the tribe. He will have a visual representation of the ways that he has worked to make the world better. If our technology team succeeds in creating this data graph, each person's profile will include an image. The image will highlight how they have worked to change the culture of confinement. We'll have a data graph to highlight how we are improving outcomes of the system. We want to show that cultures change when more people prepare for success. I anticipate that this data graph building strategy will advance our conversations on the need for reforms that incentivize excellence. If people in prison work to influence others around them, we can obliterate the harmful messages that many people in prison receive. The best way to serve time is to forget about the world outside. That is like the worst message anybody can give, and it does not lead to success. Further, the data graph will show how each participant influenced the lives of others for the better. That visual graphic can help a person's self-advocacy. It can show why the person is extraordinary and compelling, which may influence a stakeholder later. Each person needs to build tools, tactics, and resources to bolster arguments that he is worthy of relief. I encourage people to build a tribe. If a person doesn't do anything extraordinary, stakeholders will not grant relief. Now let me give you an example. Here's the case of Lawrence J. Levine. Consider the United States versus Lawrence J. Levine, case number CR 98-864 RSWL-1. It is a case from the Central District of California. I am using Larry as an example of a failure because although he asked for relief, the court found him to be an example of mediocrity. According to a federal judge, Larry did not engineer a pathway to success. Don't be like Larry. Larry Levine filed a motion in court to request early termination of supervised release. But in denying his motion, the judge wrote, "More importantly, defendant has not demonstrated a significant change to warrant early termination. Defendant has argued that he has paid all his fines and penalty assessments in full and has no outstanding obligations insofar as the sentence was imposed. However, it is expected that a defendant comply with all the terms of his sentence. A defendant should not obtain early release for doing what is already legally required to do. Courts have generally found that a showing of an exceptional circumstances beyond mere compliance is needed. Here, the court finds that the defendant has not made any showing of an exceptional circumstance beyond mere compliance with the terms of his supervised release." That's written by the Honorable Ronald S-W. Liu, or S.W. Liu, Senior U.S. District Court Judge, Central District of California. So if you're striving for excellence and you want to engineer a pathway that will lead to a better outcome, start preparing now. Show why you are worthy of relief. What makes you extraordinary and compelling? Build your tribe and be exceptional. This is really guidance that anybody can use regardless of what stage of the journey they're in. You know that when a federal judge imposes a sentence, the judge is looking at a snapshot in time. The judge is figuring out, okay, what do we know about this person now? But your job is going to be to build a record demonstrating you are worthy of consideration and relief, and you don't want to be a charlatan, somebody who's asking for something when you really haven't done anything at all of merit. And I want to show you what does it look like if you do things of merit. So here now I will share with you my own pursuit. And I didn't even have to ask for early termination of supervised release. In fact, if you look here at the order that came granting early termination of supervised release, you will know I didn't even have to ask. This was submitted by people in the Southern District, Northern District of California, and they submitted a stipulation, order for early termination of supervised release. This is the actual order. So it's showing defendant Michael Santos was sentenced to a total of 45 years in custody. That was my sentence, right? They came out of the Western District of Washington. I didn't file this motion. This motion was filed on my behalf by people who believed that I was extraordinary and compelling. I had a massively long sentence, and if I didn't do anything different, that is how the system always would have received me. It is how it always would have judged me. So I'm just scrolling through here so that you could read this on your own if you want. But look at this. They're attaching articles from the San Francisco Chronicle showing a bit about my unique and inspirational story. And based on, this is signed by the judge. Based on Mr. Santos' successful performance on supervised release, he hereby requests that this court terminate his supervised release. Okay, so I guess this is the request. But then you look at the discharge, right? You could look here. There's the discharge, right? This is from the system itself that's showing United States District Court, Central District of California Probation Office. Certificate of early termination for special parole was signed by Dieter McDaniel, Case Services Administrator of the United States Parole Commission. Oh, these are only one of the things. I should have gotten you more. And I will find more to provide. Here's early termination, certificate of early termination from 15. You are hereby discharged from special parole. That's from the Parole Commission. I want to show you from a U.S. District Court judge as well, but I'll have to find it. I want you to see, in order to get these types of extraordinary results, you've got to be extraordinary. These are the examples of the financial statements I had to submit when you're on supervised release every month. You've got to demonstrate you are extraordinary and compelling. You can see this is 2017, a few years after I got out of prison. I'm providing these resources to the government showing, hey, I built a pathway of success. And by building that pathway of success, leaders came and advocated on my behalf. I want you to begin building your pathway to success. And so visualize what will happen if you start using Prison Professor's talent to build your tribe. We would have a thing here like on the United States. This is kind of the visual that I'm working with my technology team. Is I'm going to show all the states where we're having an impact. How are we changing the lives of 10,000 people and getting 10,000 people ready for success? But I don't have to do this anymore. I'm done with the Bureau of Prisons. I'm done with supervised release, but my heart is still with you. And every day you can see I never ask you to do anything that I don't do. I invest my own money, my own time to build a pathway to help justice-impacted people get a better outcome. But I can't do it for you. You've got to build your own chart. I'm going to create and invest in the technology so that you could do it without having to pay anything. But you definitely have to start building this case. Otherwise, you're going to be a loser like Larry Levine, who you could see what the judge said. You've done nothing. You're nobody. You've not made any showing of anything exceptional. And if you're not exceptional, I'm not going to give you relief. So if you're thinking about being exceptional and being a success, document a record. Show that you are worthy of the best possible outcome. Don't do it for me. I know you don't belong in prison. I know you deserve a better outcome. But you need to be thinking about the challenges and the obstacles you're going to face in the future. You got to start sowing seeds today for the success that you want to become. And a release plan is a phenomenal start. But a release plan is only one piece of the pie. You've got to take the next step and actually demonstrate how are you executing the plan? How are things changing month over month, right? How are you going to build this case so that you can show, okay, look at all of the things that I have done. If I go back to this page right here, I'm probably going to have to adjust my screen a little bit. But if I show you Prison Professor's my profile there, you're going to see as I scroll down, and this is only an example. I'll be sending this as a book to everybody in prison so that you all can see what does this look like, right? Your profile should include a biography where you are describing the who you are. Build your case. Show me who you are today, but don't just write one. Write a biography today and then evolve and iterate. Build another one in 6 months, another one in a year. If you haven't gone to prison yet, write your biography today and then add to it. Grow this story to show you are more than what the government is saying about you. You don't want to be like Larry Levine, just a picture of mediocrity that the future will show. You've done nothing. You're nothing exceptional. So you want to start thinking about that today because, Larry's not different. That happens to a lot of people. But I'm using him because that's an example of failure. And you want to not be a failure. You don't want to be somebody who masquerades as something and then have a court shut you down. You want to build a journal entry showing every day, what are you doing? Why are you building? Look at what I'm doing. I never ask you to do anything I don't do. You can sit here and look at these sections here, right? Every single day, I am providing information to try and reach hundreds of thousands of people in prison and showing you what do you have to do to prepare for success. I'm suggesting that you don't make excuses about what you can't do. Find a way to educate yourself. Read books and write book reports. Build your own release plan and make that release plan exceptional. But you also see this little button here that says Tribe. That's the new technology that we're building because we want to show that there is, a reason for reforms. When more people are pursuing a pathway of excellence, and that's what this whole course is. It's not about me. I'm done with the system. It's about you. It's about what can we do to demonstrate the reason to incentivize a pursuit of excellence. We want to show how we're changing the culture. We want to show how we are teaching people to plan. We want to build relationships with employers that will open job opportunities for people who are extraordinary and compelling. You can't be mediocre and expect to get exceptional results. You've got to be exceptional. You've got to be resilient. That means you've got to make plans, you've got to set priorities, you've got to create tools, tactics, and resources, and you've got to execute the plan every single day. Just like these people we're profiling here on the homepage of our site. Halim Flowers, guy who was serving a double life sentence, went through our courses while he was going through the pen, and he will say it changed his life. Now he's free. He's not a Larry Levine. He's exceptional. He's compelling. Adam Clausen was once serving 213 years. He's not a failure like Larry Levine. He's a success story. He's home with a family and building his life. Or Tommy Walker, another guy that was serving a triple life sentence in the penitentiary. He's not a Larry Levine. He's exceptional and compelling. So be the change that you want to see. And you'll be able to see, just like we're showing you, the impact that we're having, right? If I show you our impact page, you can see what we're building and how we are using this strategy to help other people see the way we are striving to improve the culture of confinement. And all of this is our own money. Nobody's paying me to do this, right? I'm investing my own money to build this because I believe in you. But I can't do it without you. I need you to work on yourself. I need you to say, I am building a pathway to demonstrate I am more than my past decision. I don't want to be a failure. I want to be extraordinary and compelling. You cannot do that at the last minute, okay? If you do, you end up like the example that I showed you, an example of failure and mediocrity. But it's kind of like saying, oh, I've got a dental appointment next week. Let me start flossing 30 times a day right now and think I'm going to get the result. It doesn't work that way, okay? Or I've got a high school reunion next week. Let me try and drop 30 pounds. It doesn't work that way. A pursuit of excellence is daily. And you need to start thinking today about the arguments you're going to have to make in the future. That's what our courses strive to teach people how to do. I am Michael Santos. I never ask anybody to do anything that I didn't do and that I can't demonstrate. That's what commitment is all about. I believe in you.